After signing Connor Williams, could another big move be coming for your Seattle Seahawks by way of a trade? We will get to the latest trade rumors here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Let's set the scene for you of what things stack up for Seattle right now after signing Connor Williams. Currently, the Seahawks have close to $10 million in cap space. That's according to overthecap.com. With the signing of Williams and the recent extension for Julian Love. So there is some wiggle room to potentially add one more big name to this Seahawks team before the start of the 2024 campaign. We'll go over our list of potential trade targets and go over the new rumors for your Seahawks here in just one moment. But first, all week long, we are battling our Titans channel in a sub-battle to see who can pick up the most subscribers on the two channels, as we're going to be live for the preseason watch party coming up on Saturday night. We want to beat the Titans, not just on the football field, but off the football field as well. For daily Seahawks coverage, live shows, watch parties, interactive mailbags, as well as breaking news and more. It's all right here in one place. Seattle Seahawks Today. Subscribe now. Let's take it to the Titans show. Why we have the best fans in the National Football League. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. Let's start with Matthew Judon at the edge rusher position from the New England Patriots. And we've heard a lot about Matthew Judon's name coming up in trade rumors across the National Football League as he's looking to get paid. The Patriots are in a situation where they're starting over, right? This new post-Bill Belichick era. And he doesn't necessarily fit the timeline of where they're at with this young talent there in New England, and he's right there in the prime of his career, kind of the end of the prime of his career on that front. And CBS Sports has named Seattle as a top trade destination for Matthew Judon. Here's more from Tyler Sullivan and Garrett Podol. There's some familiarity here with new Seahawks coach Mike Macdonald serving as the linebackers coach of the Ravens from 2018 to 2020. Judon was in Baltimore for the first 5 years of his career, and the final 3 were spent with Macdonald coaching his position group. In that time, Judon was also named to 2 Pro Bowls. While Seattle possibly could use more of an off-ball linebacker, Judon would be a worthwhile pursuit to pair with Boye Mafe and Leonard Williams along the defensive line. Judon is a natural fit for the reasons mentioned by CBS Sports there when you talk about the fact that he played under Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald's track record speaks for itself of what he's done with some of these veteran pass rushers over the years, maximizing their talent and capabilities from the likes of Justin Houston to Jadeveon Clowney to Kyle Van Noy, among others. And Judon did suffer the season-ending injury last year, but up until that point was playing the best football that we've seen of his career. In 2022, had a career-high 15.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. To begin 2023, prior to that injury, he had 4 sacks in the first 4 games. And so you look at a situation with him wanting to get paid and also being a bit older, it's not going to cost a ton to pull this off when it comes to trade assets. It's figuring out the contract situation where it gets a little difficult for the Seahawks and anyone that brings in Matthew Judon for that matter. I'm looking at a potential trade of the Seahawks giving up a 4th and a 5th round pick to acquire Judon and a 6th round pick if they want to get this done. Now, what say you? Should the Seahawks trade for Matthew Judon? It's our pinned comment today. Weigh in. Let us know what you think. Type T for trade, P for pass. What do you think? Is this the right move to go after Matthew Judon? Let us know. Next on our list, another edge rusher. This time it is Haason Reddick of the New York Jets. He was traded there by way of the Philadelphia Eagles earlier this offseason, but he has been holding out for a new contract and has not shown up to the Jets facility this entire offseason. And then we got the report from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network earlier this week that, according to his sources, Haason Reddick requested a trade from the Jets before he's even ever played it down for New York. Rap Sheet went on to say the Jets traded for Haason Reddick but have been a holdout since training camp. The two sides have been unable to come together on a deal or to get him to show up. And the Jets put out a statement saying that they were not trading Haason Reddick, that they expect him to be there, and they're hoping to get a deal done with him, yada, yada, yada. You get the idea when it comes to Haason Reddick there. But you have to think that if they can't get a deal done, they'll be left with no choice but to trade Haason Reddick. For me, with this situation, knowing that Philadelphia already moved on from him, and now you got this situation with the New York Jets, this screams trouble for me. Now, maybe you can get a trade and get a contract done for Haason Reddick, potentially speaking, going to be a high price tag. But if you've had all this lingering on throughout the offseason, then what's going to happen next, essentially? That's what I worry about here, is if I'm the Seahawks, I wouldn't make the trade unless I have a deal in place for a long-term contract. But if you've had these issues right now with not one, but two organizations, then that leaves me wondering if there's going to be any issues that stack up down the road. You can't argue with the talent level of Haason Reddick. As you look back at this past season, 11 total sacks, 1 forced fumble. The year prior had 16, 11 in 2021, 12 and a half in 2020. He's been one of the best players in the NFL at his position. And because of what's gone on with these off-the-field negotiations, this holdout, and with him looking for big money, I think you're looking at giving up about a third-round pick potentially for Haason Reddick there. You would have to pay more than you would for Matthew Judon, and you'd have to give up a third as opposed to giving up in our previous proposal for Matthew Judon a fourth and a fifth. But either way, you get one of these two guys, you're feeling a whole lot better about yourself at this position, and you can move on from Darrell Taylor, which I think we would all welcome that possibility. If you had to pick one to trade for, all things are not created equal here. Knowing the circumstances that we've presented to you for both of them, which one would you rather trade for? Would you rather trade for Matthew Judon, or would you rather trade for Haason Reddick? Type MJ for Matthew Judon. Type HR for Haason Reddick. Weigh in. Let us know what you think. Got a great deal we're offering Seahawk fans right now. Byron Murphy, we're excited to have him here in Seattle for many years to come. He's going to wear the number 91. So just add a 9 to that one. His jerseys are on sale now. The home jersey, the road jersey, got the alternate throwback option as well. Men's and women's sizes available. Free shipping on your order on top of that. Go get yours today. Chatsports.com/Murphy. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Byron Murphy jerseys on sale now, right in time for the start of the season. Chatsports.com/Murphy. The last player on our potential trade targets list that we turn our attention to is Jacksonville Jaguars linebacker Chad Muma. Chad Muma, selected just a couple of years ago by the Jags out of the University of Wyoming, and played a minimal role last year when he was expected to be one of the top players on this Jags defense when they brought him in. They had high hopes for him, and he kind of got phased out, which surprised me. And personally, I have not given up on Chad Muma just yet. To me, I think he could be a good fit for what the Seahawks are looking for. Because you think about this linebacker situation, the Seahawks are in very good shape with their starters, with Jerome Baker and Terrell Dodson. But then beyond that, there's some major question marks there. And Chad Muma, you're not going to have to give up a ton. We'll show you the trade idea here in just a second. But a guy that has put up not huge numbers by any stretch of the imagination, that's still on your rookie contract, I'll take that chance to have him as my number 3 middle linebacker, to rotate in, to fill in if there's an injury to Baker or Dodson, who we already saw had injuries earlier this offseason, although they're fine right now. Muma, I don't think it's a bad bet for the Seahawks as a cheap insurance policy to take on a contract they can afford, to not give up a ton, just a 6th-round pick, and then you feel a whole lot better about that linebacker position, and you're not having to rush Tyrese Knight either, who's still learning the NFL game as a 4th-round rookie. To me, I like this idea of bringing in Chad Muma. So those are our trade targets for your Seattle Seahawks. We've named a few. Obviously, there's plenty of other players out there that will likely get dealt before the season begins. Who is one that you would like to see these Seahawks trade for? Weigh in. Give us a name that comes to mind in the comments section below. Thanks for joining us here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for continuing coverage. Got a big week ahead as we're talking joint practices with the Tennessee Titans this week, so stay tuned for that, as well as the preseason game coming up on Saturday night. We'll cover it all right here for you on Seahawks Today. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time.